Alright people, welcome back to the channel. I am Franchise. For all the new people joining the channel, I want to introduce a very prolific racer. I wouldn't be able to give you guys his entire all the hats he wear. Introduce yourself.
Boy, thank you, Franchise. It's actually an honor, and I respect your channel and the way it started. I started with you from the beginning.
Yeah.
During COVID, coming right through, and we've been there with you. And I thank you for welcoming us into your life, because we're also you wear a couple hats as much as you do the work to actually bring the footage to the people out there.
Right.
But yes, I mean, for those who do not know me, which I've been in the business from 1991. Right, so I've been playing with rear-wheel drive cars and playing with little toy cars before that, and I always had a dream of opening a school to teach others, and I'm at that point where we're looking into it right now as we speak. And that first place where you actually met me and got the first set of footage,
Right.
we are looking to actually open a performance driving school there.
Nice.
So everybody can learn not only to drive a rear-wheel drive, but a front-wheel drive or a four-wheel drive, or come and hone the skills for even a road that might save their lives. Because all of us have to use a road, our grandmother, our mother, everybody, right?
Right.
So that is the plan. But my name is Maurice Whittingham, and my father is Maurice Whittingham, but I'm Maurice Whittingham Jr., and there is a Maurice Whittingham after me. And this is why we keep doing what we're doing, because we hope people take it up and enhance it and grow where we actually want to see motorsports in Jamaica, because Jamaica is a brand now that is not being represented to the fullest right now, where the destinations, because it's a beautiful tourist destination. I mean, we have the most beautiful country.
Right.
And yet they need to see the other side of this country, that there is a thriving, talented set of young individuals, especially jumping out right now from St. James.
Yeah.
You understand? And we can argue of all around Jamaica, because I've lived in St. James, so I can speak of St. James. But we big up everywhere. We big up from Mandeville from Lucy to Westmoreland to Sav. All the man them who they representing a bill right now, from Kingston go right back to Ocharia, Spoon, all of my friends, everybody want to big up in yourself on the large every time. And you guys are who we call when we have problem to problem shoot any problems we have, and them travel from all over Jamaica to come and fix one car.
Nice.
So you need to understand what a fellowship there is. But my name again is short at Maurice Whittingham. They call me first they used to call me the doctor because of the precision driving, and now one of my friends, Amir, big up yourself, called me the world boss, and not world as in like the singer, but whirling the car around, and they say I was the boss of that, and it stuck on me, and them call me world boss, and I keep it, because that's what they name me.
It's a good name, and based on all the accolades that you've achieved over the years of doing what you're doing. World boss is I think it's an appropriate.
I think it's a fitting title.
Yeah, man, it's a fitting title.
Well, listen, if I do have fans, and especially I know that my fans are actually the younger kids who remember me and point me out, and enough big man say in the streets, even when I'm working at my everyday business, which I am an agent for Cooking Gas on Barnett Street, Maurice's Gas, who have been around in a cornerstone business that has been representing from in the 60s. My father before me, and I still keep it going.
Yeah.
And people see me on the street and say, "World boss," you know what I mean? Constantly, I'm like surprised when I still say, "World boss." And even if I'm in Kingston, as the biggest thing I've ever had was because I was one of the first in the Caribbean, and I didn't, gazette it to actually step out of a car while it's spinning. A lot of people copy it after. But I can give you that footage. Just type in "Crazy Starlet" with 5 A's.
Yeah.
And it'll pop up the footage of this starlet here of me spinning and actually stepping out of it and walking away and getting back into it. And I was actually one of the first in the Caribbean. I'm thinking in the work of the foot. There's no other footage of it back then. But I won't quote myself, and unless somebody can bring me proof. So far from back then, from when we used to practice at Palace Multiplex, this I am the first. And then Kota come and he did it, and a couple of them and start to practice and do it, and they did well with it. Big up on yourself, my friend Kota.
Yeah.
You understand?
We big up all of the persons coming in after you, because you were one of the pioneers, one of the first out here really, doing the motorsport justice, to a certain degree. And I know that, Kota, Nicholas Barnes, all the names out there now are persons who you may have inspired, you know, coming into the sport?
Yes, man, they all pass through this driveway here. I've been at this. This is my family home that we actually welcome you guys all into right now, so that you can actually see the unfinished projects and the projects that are in store. I mean, you know, franchise have a come do them one year, but he's here about this other event coming up right now, which is now the boom. And you know, I'm actually honored that he actually came to come and see, knowing that this is we're one in the top 5 names going into this competition to see who will come out on top. Everybody else had a win at each one, but this is a fully Red Bull event now for the first time here in Jamaica, the car park drift that they're setting up. Not a private organizer. This is Red Bull. So I've been a Red Bull athlete before, back in the day before we did the Rally Sport series and stuff. They used to sponsor. When they call you a Red Bull athlete, they feature you. Your name is there, and they sponsor and they give you Red Bull every month and you're on watch. But yeah, it's even my car. Funny. You should say it. The guy who I bought this car for first before it came back into my hands, the nickname of this car here is called Red Bull.
Oh,
before the Red Bull competition, that was the nickname of this car. That's the name of this car.
You know, funny enough, the color matches perfectly. So.
And that is why it caught the alias Red Bull. Everybody can have a name, you know. Everybody have them the name for them car, like me, World Boss, the driver. The car actually has a name, and the name of mine was Red Bull.
Nice.
From before, from the previous owner.
Makes sense.
Right.
All right, so guys, now that you have been formally introduced, you know, the younger audience, you know, the older ones will know you. Now that you've been formally introduced to who Maurice Whittingham is, my next question is, Maurice, I know you have a long history, but what really inspired you to, you know, take up motorsport as a thing?
Wow, I'm going to actually, I'm glad you asked me that question. It actually started where you're sitting. Down the road here, in Cora Gardens, there's a roundabout here that we used to play football in. And there's a man at the road called Tony 10. He raced back in the days for Montego Bay Motor Club and stuff. And he had a Mini, and them, you know, those Minis, front wheel drive, old time Mini. Them unruly. And then when you drive them and then fast with the shortcut gears, and we used to be closely entwined into England. When you hear that car screaming down the road and you hear it sound like the gearbox a mash up and it a whine a come and him brake and turning around the roundabout while we're playing football in the midlight, is full side with the car turn. And him don't back off. And he would always be going home in he had a VW bus with red and white stripes. His race car had red and white stripes. His pizza setup had red and white stripes, which is still famous because it still goes to some fest, some splash. All those places he's passed now. Rest in peace, Uncle Tony. Right? And even him brother Mikey 10. For everybody else, the foundation know what me I talk about. Right? Is that man there was a pioneer that we even named a rally after him before he passed. We had the Tony's Pizza Rally. We had many events that we need to bring back, because Jamaica, we used to road closure, race on the road, road closure, run rally stages, and all those things. And where have they gone? You know, but I mean, I'm also an organizer. I've been the chairman of the Montego Bay Motor Club and even the DRC for a while, and I did it. We did Trelawney Rally last and so on, but not to get too much off the pace. But that is what inspired me, sitting in that roundabout playing football, and when him come round that runabout, you know, and do him do, you know. It's like I saying, one day I must have a car that can do it, even though I never knew I'd fell in love with rail drives, because that was originally a 4-wheel drive. And see, I have a Mini Cooper here, and I have a old one inspired off of him. My first race car, I was trying to buy one like that. Never got it.
And that segues into the next question. You know, what was the thought process? Because you've not only done you know, drifting events, you've done
sprints, rallies, circuit racing. I mean, I go as far as even doing RC racing, my RC cars. Our tune is ridiculous. It's an AFNA 10. What's the frame size? I totally forget. I have so many of them. That have been in competition with almost any of them, because that was it. That was the plan, to be in every aspect and represent it, to inspire. Not only I love it, don't get me wrong, but what kept me going even before I had children was the younger children. What I used to do, even when I win, not for my trophies that I have, this is the minuscule just to show that I don't have to even look at a second place trophy, honestly. The majority of them are first, and I'm proud of it, because it's something that I set out to be, and it's not to be, you know, it is it is heartfelt and it's very emotional for me when I look back to know the different, because I know that we've inspired people to do a lot, because I still see them keeping in touch with me to this day.
Right.
But the young ones, people used to wonder why I do it. Every time I win a competition, there were some kids that always hang around and I'd give away the trophy right there that I just win to them.
Nice.
Not trying to go home, give it to them, because I knew what it meant to them.
Yeah.
To that him give me the trophy that him just drive and win.
Right.
And let me tell you, the parents has come back to me and said, Witty, respect.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that is what it is here for. It's not for me to go. I've already have some on my shelf.
Yeah.
And if it make a difference to him and inspire him for another stepping stone, and that's the only reason we're here, to inspire, to help other people, because that's one thing we promise to know, man. It's time.
True.
So while we're here, what mark do we make?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. And you definitely you've left marks in the road, marks in the dirt.
Wow.
Yeah, you've left marks all over the place. Just being here in this yard, we can just see the joy and the love for motorsport.
I appreciate that, because even before you came, I said, shit, I need to run through the yard and set it up and so on and so on. When you came in, you didn't even see that the yard was cut or you just said, well on, man, this is my dream yard. And I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Because I would want to move the majority of projects one side and only what was being presentable to me. But you know that somebody taught me that my house is well lived in. It's called well lived in.
Yeah.
And that is the difference with when you have children. Because I have 4 boys, Maurice, Merrick, Miles, and Mace.
Yeah.
Hopefully they will the magnificent 4, the fantastic 4, I call them.
Yeah.
And hopefully one of them will like it, but I'm not pushing them to what they don't want to do. They actually love it because they do admire me. So in time, I should have gotten them into go-kart before, go-karting and stuff. But I just think it's too far to go to Kingston every minute for that. When we have our daily lives trying to live, we need something purpose-built here. Right. We need a track down here. We need a multi-purpose complex, and that is my aim. To be here, to train them and hone them into, and it's not only motorsports, and people think that motorsports is a monument thing. No, there is, and it is changed completely now.
Yeah,
everybody has something to build. Now, a lot of vehicles are out there, a lot of performance cars out there. Now you need to learn how to drive that car and enjoy, and so you know how to build it. So it's not just the engine, it's also the suspension, the tuning, the handling, the braking, or what chassis you have and what you want to understand if you want a rear-wheel drive, a front-wheel drive, or a 4-wheel drive vehicle.
True. I'm going into the next question in regards to that. Was it that you wanted to really just experience, rear-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, front-wheel drive, and hopped into like the different I guess drivetrains, or was it just something that you fell into, like, by chance? When
I was younger, my grandmother had passed, and she had left a 120 wide Datsun, which is originally a rear-wheel drive car. It was actually parked to the left of me over there where the other drag style it is. And it was there for years, and a furniture man came here to spray some furniture for my mom. And I said, come here, please. And I tape out a line, and the man spray a line. That's why I started cutting my cars in half. It's something I've been doing from in my teens. Right. And it looked so good. The car was beige and a dark brown. You spray the furniture in the brown. Right, so a dark brown we put on the side, and it built such a vibe that went underneath it, cut off the exhaust, and it started entering the dexterities, which was back in the day with Strati King and Reina King and Bram and all of them, meaning you would have Wayne from Flanker. You have so many, Andrew Forsyth and all these other people, Richie, Rory, all of these people, mainly the King family, because they are an icon still in motor racing, from Strati, Bram and Reina, come down to Dear Children, Rory, Richie, and now you have Reina and Strati's son, all of these guys that are now going into competition, rally sport right now, building 4-wheel drives to go into it. So that is what keeping me going. I'm looking for a 4-wheel drive to actually go and rub shoulders with them and have some fun and relax, because I'm tired of eating dirt. Yeah. Because the 2-wheel drive car is bringing a lot of dirt, and by the end of the stage, you have to know and have your car sealed properly so that it doesn't come in. But preparation is the key. But let me tell you, what the answer to your question, what you're saying, the inspiration is all of these families around it. Because we have a racing family. Right? We have a racing family that lives in this neighborhood and Montego Bay, also in Mandeville, because when you talk about Jeremy Groves, Alan Chen, the Freeman, Chris Freeman, the brothers, rest in peace.
Yeah.
All these people, I mean, the big man them who, from, Mandeville man them come right back because these guys were the pioneers in rear drive at one point.
Right.
But I must tell you, Montego Bay take it over and right now Mandeville fighting. And we're not talking about Mandeville. You're talking about man from Ochi right now come hard and man from West come hard right now. So they might put things together, but not wrong. We enjoy the competition because if we never have competition, you don't want to get out there and it's easy. And that's what I always do. I always enter the class with the most competitors. So that is why I'm still in rear drive today, because that's where I started in my Starlet, the 120Y. Then I went to a Starlet, then I went to Cayman running down a front wheel drive, and a man hit me and I flipped 4 times. And then I sold that car and went right back to my basic roots that I had retired, the Starlet, And that car made me my name today of World Boss, which was another Starlet I sold to the Freeman, and I bought the Moody Starlet here. And then this was, it's still competing, it's not retired, but the body has been around for so long taking abuse that I had to reinforce it. And I went to another chassis, but I've not left Miss Killanberry alone. You understand?
No worries, people. We're gonna give you a walk around the yard, later on in the interview, so he can tell you, the history that is sitting here in his yard. Because I tell you, people pulling up to the house, I can't put into words how I felt, just that initial moment when I turned my eyes, Maurice, and see like how the yard set up. Like I legitimately felt.
Well, I know you didn't know the address, and when you're driving past, you see those jam the brakes and now, so this have to be the house.
Yeah, man.
I'm secretary first, because I see you miss the yard first, and then I see there's an Norman. When you saw the amount of cars that were over there, and these are all race prep somewhat.
Yeah, man. I miss it. I say, if Maurice does not live anywhere else, this has to be.
This has to be the house.
This has to be it. Yeah, man. Alright, so Mr. Whittingham, how do you feel? So the title you have, or the title I know you for is, the Drift King. You are like, or I should say, you were the reigning winner of drift events, up until the Nicholas Barnes and the Cutters came about and pretty much are giving you now a challenge. How do you feel about that? What is the strategy going into each event, knowing that you're going against,
I'm glad you asked me that question. And, honestly, I'm very confident. Why? It's you see, Cleve Otti, you mentioned Nicholas Barnes, even Chris John Addison.
Yeah, man.
Is a peculiar name on that list of people who has, honed growing up, because all of these people actually upset Nicholas. Nicholas took some, will listen and ask questions and say, how you think I'm doing here? And grow. And I mean, doing well. Right. These guys are on top of them game right now. So I am actually still proud at my age to be competing with them and still changing times. And some of the times when we actually go into competition, the car is, or the platform is key, because the new platform here that I had was very, very, very heavy. You understand? So I was trying to lighten it and get it, the front end to have the angles to do all of the tricks and to get it to perform up to standard, because the majority of the cars that we're up against today are actually purpose built for it. Right. This car that I have is actually a street car. that we started driving because the wide body Starlet, which is majority fiberglass, has the proper front end, has the hydraulic setup and the rear end with all rose joints to distribute the power to the ground and so on. So what I brought it to before was being redone. But to make sure that I still want to be in competition, no matter what, I'm not going to sit out. That is the competitor that I am. I'm not going to sit out and not still be in competition. I do, but you still have to own it. You have to own where you're there.
Right.
And part of the competition is also your preparation. So what happened to me, I'm still very confident. There's nothing that has etched anything to me that made me wonder if I am still a winner.
Right.
You understand? Because to me, if I go home after an event, coming second or third or fifth or wherever it is, right? Wherever it is, it's, to me, I'm still a winner because I know where that time is. I know how to grasp that time. The worst thing to you is when you go home and you don't know how to beat them or how to catch that time. But when I go home, if I'm not first place, right? I already know how to go back there, so I know what to do to restructure myself and retune to go back there. I know the difference if it's tires, if it's rear, and if it's your brakes not proper, your front end, the car not stopping, or the car is too heavy, and it's throwing, or your suspension is off.
Yeah.
So that's the key between me and another competitor, because that is what it's brought to me, the experience in competing for so many years, right? So when it comes to those names that you're calling, not a problem at all. I have no issue or feelings that I can't beat them. They're more than beatable because I see their mistakes and I actually notice their challenges. All of them, they have challenges. I can, Nicholas Carr, as much as you see him out there, he's doing excellent job driving because he's, even though his car handles well, turns well, brake well, very light, very agile, he has a ratio problem to me, and he's doing very well with that platform. Even Cutter has other issues too, which his car is purpose built for. So when every event so far this year, I must tell you, has been different. Ian Wright, none of our cars were configured for that. But we had to drive what we had because we're all configured for tarmac. When we went to Junction at Scott's event, whoever laid out that course, it was definitely not a flowing course. It was definitely a very difficult course that our cars were in. It depends. Shorter wheelbase cars were set up that could easier do what it needs to do there. A lighter cars because of those flipper setup. So, I mean, what it is though, the thing is, all of us had to drive the same event, so we can't complain. But in a good event, they must set up ESR so we know what we're going to race. So indirectly, they have to. By right, we should have seen a better, a more detailed thing, and so we can configure the car. So down to the differential, very important. Some people got there at 5.1, some got there at 4.3, some got there with 4.7. The team there is an advantage with the longer first gear or the shorter first gear, and if we know what we're running, we can configure it to that. That is how serious and competitive it has gotten. Dexterities, which I started, is me first wet the floor at Jamaica and start wet it to save the tires, and why even Scott find the name wet and slide. You understand? Because, I mean, it's not wet and slippery and wet, because we were originally wet and slide. The Montego Motor Club started wet and slide, and he was when they go wet and slide. I said, no, I'm saying slippery and wet. And it got a good catch.
Yeah, because it flows, it flows,
Say, motorsport have to surround females, and it appeals to that slippery and wet. So kudos to Kingsley Scott for that name. And he's a good organizer in promoting and so on. I think that everybody should come together, and for us to have a really, really good event is actually if all of us put our differences aside and put our expertise together, so that not only the crowd can actually get a strong showing of something that's flowing and a good competition and enjoy the bang for buck for what they pay for. The drivers can also get a course that they enjoy driving, and we can actually prepare for. And it's not a surprise. You understand? So basically, we all trying to just make something the best. But when I start organizing events, because I'm on the side of, that's why I say Montego Motor Club and my car. Going into next year, you're actually going to see where we do some events that is going to be all what I spoke about. Because we see, but it's teething pains. We're just coming out of COVID. We actually enjoy that we have events to go to. So not a problem. This is just what we work through, and everybody now has to kind of configure them car, which is what Mr. Corodas has been doing. Actually, Race Zone has been trying to make everybody leave from just the spinning, as they call it, which is not, it's not fair, because that was a culture. spinning from Mandeville or whatever to dexterities to time competition to now this event coming up is not timed. This is about sliding this thing and hitting all of the zones in fine style and competing the course in the right way.
So full control is what is needed to execute properly.
Right.
So Maurice, in regards to the Red Bull drift in the park, you're saying this event isn't going to be like drifting on the farm or slippery when wet, or what was the one called in Kingston again?
King of the City?
King of the City. You're saying this one is going to need more precision driving, and what else?
Well, from what I understand, from the ESRs or these preliminary stuff that they put out in our Red Bull group, that this is one of the first of its kind. From in Jamaica, but this is now the first event that is not timed. This is not a timed event. So this is something new for all of us, right? So now we have to start a course and complete a course correctly. I guess there's flippers at the back of the car has to hit. Right. And I guess certain obstacles that we have to definitely complete. Right. And so the judging of it, I guess, with flow, I guess tire smoke or how aggressive we are on the line, keeping that flow and that hang and so on to my knowledge, should be the winner of this event.
So this definitely will pose a challenge to I guess all the competitors for this round, as far as what I'm seeing, because no, that is not time. It's not how fast you go around the track.
Right.
It's going to. It seems. Well, I'm assuming they're going to be giving you guys a criteria as to what they'll be judging on. So for this event, we're assuming that, let's say, a more angled turn, hitting the flippers, such and such will be the determining factors and not just time. Right.
In the King of the City, they actually you got a taste of it where they had 3 judges, and the 3 judges judged a different section of the course, 3 different sections of the course.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that this was giving the judges experience, because this event is crucial in, is also the people who run the event, like the marshals, the judges, and to make sure it is fair and balanced and unbiased, right? So, a game of a come, where okay, the turbocharged man, them are pressing a bus shot, and them, so it'll big up a hype.
Yeah.
But this event also starts late at night. But I won't tell you I can't talk about what my A game that I bring in is.
Okay.
So because this is actually part of the competition, and I know that we're going to hear before. So it is. I'm bringing to the table whatever I have and my experience of what I have, and having fun with it. Wherever the cards fall, may they lay there. But there's once I'm still in competition, the Lord bless me and my family to live in this society and just have prosperity, so to speak, and be able to compete and uplift Montego Bay. Because one thing I wanted to say is straight to the parish council, we need some of the red tape lifted, because this is a big part of the social development of our community coming out of COVID, to make a dent in crime, to make a dent in everything that we are doing here. It's not just for us and fun. There's a lot of people that look up to this. They need also a distraction. And this has a lot of tributaries to many attributes to what is possible in society of trade and so many things, heart trust. All these entities need to come on board with us so that we can actually build a better future for not only Montego Bay and the municipal here needs to be on board in all parishes, because we travel throughout all parishes to do this for not for the clubs, for the community. So we can't keep doing this thing where we watch the one man. We need to come on board with the people who actually has Jamaica future in heart and in hand. Right? And we need you. We need you. We need you to make this happen. And big respect to the franchise to actually be out there so that hopefully you can see this platform and what we're trying to bring across.
Right. Great. Boy, I couldn't say that any better, people, which is why I was super stoked. I was excited, when I spoke with Maurice and he agreed that yes, let's have a sit down, let's have a talk, because we need to get the message out there and basically just spread the word and the information to everyone out there.
And to also let them know that, young people out there is a channel, and the dexterities are beginner. But you can come in with any car. It don't have to be a purpose-built car. If you have, I've won the championship, part of these championships, with to prove a point to Mr. Curtis one time that it wasn't a real drive master that I am. Right. It was drive what you have and be confident in what your confidence. And I show them that. Dino always laugh at me and say adaptability is the name of his most famous word that he says that I use. Yeah. When I was on Jam Speed Adrenaline Rush with Chris McFarlane, big up him to Chris McFarlane, who moved on to Barbados and is doing very well over there in his John and Sports also, and was a producer and the financier for the CVM series, so Jam Speed Adrenaline Rush, which we hope to do again because it was a great idea. Right. But also that no matter what you drive, once you don't watch what anybody else have, you do the best with it. So the man called Upsetter from Kingston with the Corolla, winning many championships, should come down and even though this championship we're doing now, this race we're doing now is rear drive biased. Right. Team Streets and many other genres of the organizers are still doing competition with front-wheel drive, rear-wheel drive, and four-wheel drive, and you have non-limited, limited class. And so there is room to hone these skills and grow, and it also gives you the next stepping stone to rally sport, which is the rallies coming up, and Jamaica Rally at the end of the year. Marcia, prepare, we're actually coming forward to give you that support, and so on. It's just a time for us to put ourselves back together, because that disposable income that we had years ago to put that injection into the sport was kind of deflated in momentum, where it was taken for granted. I would think of where and what, when we have our lives to live and we have to grow and make plans for our future people behind us that are going to come into motorsports and compete. So what I'm saying about all, on a whole, is we all need each other to make this happen. So that's why I keep racing. So if we drop first, I'm go kick out them teeth. I watch nothing. I not say nothing. But and that is a message for some fire engine red car out there. You understand? And Zachary, big up yourself on your birthday, which was yesterday. Happy birthday and congrats on the win at Plaza. You deserve it with the doping machine. You've been putting a lot of prep into it and so on. And the world ain't out to get you, my brother. You understand? We love you and support you. Big up your father, Colin Isaacs, with it. Jordan Madden, big up yourself with what you've been doing for your family and motorsports, pushing yourself out there and making it happen for the younger ones. Even you step back and pushing them on the drift scene, and you pushing yourself on the rally sports scene. Big up yourself, Richie Rary. Richie Rary, you're the dandada, you're the king of dexterity, everything, and still in my heart. Who me now left out of Chris Matthews? Somebody get that man that car, I'll know. He might go kick out to teeth them. Anybody who know that Andrew Forsyth, precision! Strategy with the heel and toe, no for bowing ever them. We can tell you. And Jeffrey, dear goodness, man, you'll never hang in the towel. You're always a winner. From Kingston, go right back. All of these people, my friends. Big up yourself, Bobby Marshall. The list goes on and on and on. And all of you are in my heart, and all of you are inspiration. They ask me, who's my inspiration? It's not one specific person. It's all of you. And I hope that I'm an inspiration to all of you. You understand?
Good.
So, world boss, to you, that is the end. And when I hand in the towel, them have to come take it. If we're the benchmark, that even if them higher, at least there's a benchmark that you need to know that you need to jump higher.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Good.
here we go.
Yeah, man. So, people, you heard it from the Drift King, the world boss.
Yeah. Are you saying?
Yeah.
Right? The people them say so.
Yes,
My name
sir.
is Maurice Whittingham. Right? And we've held many titles, but thank you for where it is so far. And it's a pleasure to still be competing and still be out there and respect the franchise and big up Red Gear Media.
Yes.
Jesus. You understand?
Yeah.
Well, and always remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell for any new footage I'm putting out.
Yes, sir.
Right?
So, people, the segment we're going into next, we're just going to go and have a walk around all the projects and the machines. We have to show that, to the people. Because I know that all the car enthusiasts would appreciate, the story and the history behind the machine. So, that is what we're going to right now. Stay tuned for it.
Okay, this is my Evolution 2 circuit car. Started racing at Dover originally with a turbo started, but this was my most winning accomplished car at Dover. I've won Thundersport race with it. I've won IP27 and bracket racing and stuff. But retired it to actually step up the game to my Puma Cup Racing Evolution 7, which still has not touched the track. Still seeking sponsorship for this car because it is this much money you need to run this car to be in competition. But I think we might go up there and run for some fun. Coming up in the next, Dover's, not the recent one coming, but maybe another one after that. But it's in the pipeline to work on because, so much plans and it takes some form of finances. So you don't try to put your hat where you can't reach it, And, everybody know this car. This is the car where they call me World Boss, which, as you can see on the back of it, is where Amir put the World Boss on it. I just got up one day and saw it. He actually just put it on and the name stuck. But this car is a Dexterity champion, sprint champion. It ran very well with, it's a Peter Moody X Racing car. I bought it from somebody who he sold it to and then campaigned this car for many years after returning from Cayman after the accident in Cayman with Mr. Bodden in Cayman. Back to Jamaica, started running this car and is the most successful winningest car that I gotten the majority of my trophies from, right? So this car here is, what would I say, is a sprint champion, Dexterity champion, and also I ran this in rally, Frome rallies, and so on, did very, very well and with this car. But my best rally car so far is a simple Toyota Levin here that was bought as a rally sport car and actually gave me so much rally championships. And all these cars put together campaigned me to win the Drivers' Championship for Jamaican Millennium Motoring Club, Montego Bay Motoring Club, as you see some of the trophies up there, and the DRC, the Drivers' Championship Club, after the Jamaica Millennium Motoring Club stepped down and is now just the governing body for the licenses and so on, hence and so forth. I can't give you the details so far, but this is a Toyota Levin with just a suspension, but with a blacktop motor, dog box, and does well. I must tell you, Toyota reliability is the key, where it kept on taking a licking and it don't break down. It always finish a rally. It's only one rally it has failed with an axle that was broken and we had no spares. But that's it. Never, no accident, no falling out of, So she's very reliable. If you want a good rally car, build a Toyota. And she's the key. You can go back on footage for it, hold up an airborne footage with this, and she's still strong, still drive like a champ. I'm tearing her down now to respray and refresh her for Rally Jamaica coming up in December. And last but not least, the new project, aka X Factor, what you call it. This one is nicknamed Redbull. And this car here is a car that I was in a relationship from. I was a young man, my friend of mine bought it from a friend of mine, and he came back and offered it back to me. And we had it put down for a while because we were campaigning. It started wanted to be redone, and we started this platform to started running. So it's a work in progress, but it is a fun car to drive, very forgiving. This car is a AE86, 1986 Toyota Corolla GTS left-hand drive. This is the American version, so she's on the heavy side, but she has the booty, you know. But we're working with her. She has a good power plant, and she's doing well. And we've been just driving what we have to see if we can actually keep up with the competition. So we're skinning some weight off for her. We'll take off the doors and a couple other things trying to get into the next competition. But we have a few tricks up our sleeves going into this competition, which is not necessary. We don't really have to skim her down anymore because it's not a time competition coming up. It's actually a style competition. So she can do it with the weight. Fat girls can bubble too, right? So we see what where the dice drop with Redbull on the October 1st, right? So this car here is actually powered by a Honda motor, S2000 Honda motor. This is the FC20, which stock, everything stock, and she does, you know, reliability is the key. So if I get 200 horsepower out of her, I'm even happy, which I'm feeling like about 180, and she'll go on, chirp some tires, and do what I want her to do. Like, share, subscribe to all media from franchise. Big up Red Gear Media every time.